Hi there, my name's Dan Moross and I'm from online business card and stationery provider Moo.com, and today I'll be giving a talk about the 4 key ingredients to building an award-winning customer experience, covering delightful customer service, excellent agent experience, insights and transformation, and continuous improvement. I'm going to talk about the journey that I've had at Moo and talk a little bit about the ingredients that we put into how we do customer experience from a completely different perspective. Some of it will seem relatively infantile because we're a much smaller organization than probably you guys are. But first of all, I want to say, Luca, it's really interesting to see how bigger industries are disrupting themselves, because I think that's a really different way. And I don't work in the telco industry, I never have, but I am one of those customers, and I really hope and wish that my provider is doing similar things inside their organization. So it's a rather scary, large picture of myself, but I'm also Director of Customer Experience, a slightly different twist. I don't have 300 employees. There's only about 400 employees at Moo. We're about 11 years old. I was employee number 7. I'm quite lucky on my paycheck. It says 007. I always feel a bit proud when I look at my paycheck. And I was the first customer service agent at Moo. So I was there on day one. First email that came in, we didn't have a phone. We didn't even have a phone in our office, let alone a phone number that customers could call. And on my first day, my boss turned around and said, "We've got an email from a customer. Who wants to answer it?" And I was the one foolish enough to raise my hand, and I'm foolish enough to have been there ever since. So for those of you that don't know who Moo is, we're an online business card and business stationery provider, and our goal is to make it as super easy and simple as possible for our customers, which range from very small, one or two man or woman businesses, right up to larger enterprises, to try and make it really easy for them to order business stationery online, in order to help them to grow their business, to network and open doors and have networking conversations. And if any of you are interested in learning more about Moo and the products that we provide, then feel free to grab me in the break. So I said, I started on the customer service side and have grown in my role and been very fortunate to grow at a similar pace to Moo. This is my team here in London, which actually used to be just around the corner. This was taken in a car park about a 3-minute walk around the corner. And this is our US customer service team. And I'm not like in 2 different dimensions where I'm in the US and the UK at the same time. They're taken at different times. And this over here is every time someone in our customer service team or in our customer experience team starts, they get an avatar design of themselves. And if you live chat with Moo.com or you deal with us on an email exchange, your avatar is displayed to kind of personalize and humanize that interaction. And this is me up here looking a little bit like Heisenberg for any of you that have seen Breaking Bad. And even when someone leaves, we keep their avatar, and we kind of have this massive digital board in our office that has every single employee that's ever worked in the customer experience team. And it's a nice little twist. So, everyone's talking about omni-channel and multi-channel, and Moo will be very different has been on a very different journey than I'm sure most of you guys have. We didn't have telephone support for the first 3 or 4 years of our existence. So we are an online business. We don't have any bricks and mortar. And like I said, we didn't offer phone for quite a time. We were email only for the first 3 years. And then we knew that customers needed a bit more of a real-time interaction, and we introduced live chat, and then we introduced phone around the same time, and then obviously social media is big for us as well because we're an online business. We did actually, just at the Box Park, which is just up the road, we did have a store, which was only open. It was a pop-up that lasted 3 years, which kind of goes against it's much like being a startup and being 11 years old doesn't really make sense. So we did have bricks and mortar. And self-service, obviously, is a big part of what we do nowadays. Back in the day, our self-service was like a 5-question FAQ, which didn't really help customers very much. And just to give you an understanding of the breakdown, most of our volume is via live chat. And that's 24 hours, 5 days a week, which for an organization of our size is quite extended opening hours. Last year, we entered a bunch of different award programs. We actually started off by entering the top 50 companies for customer service, which is run by ICMI. And we entered that really to do some benchmarking. We wanted to see how we stacked up against competitors within our space, but also other people in different industries. It's all mystery calling into your contact center or live chat and email. And like I said, we entered just to benchmark, but we actually came out #1 in online retail, #1 for live chat, and we came 4th overall. And it kind of whet our appetite for entering some more awards. And through the course of 2016, we entered the UK Contact Centre Forum London Awards, we entered the Retail Week Customer Experience Awards, and because we are actually about 65% of our businesses in North America, we wanted to find a global awards program. And we entered the ICMI Global Contact Centre Awards, and we were super fortunate to actually take home over 10 awards across all of these different things in various different categories, some for small contact centre, some for Customer Experience Team of the Year, and some around use of technology and live chat. And what I'm going to talk to you guys today about is about the kind of the ingredients that we think make up great customer experience. This is me in Long Beach, California. I'm really lucky to get flown out there on Moo's dime, and we took home 4 awards in this program. And here are these 4 key ingredients. I'm going to touch on each of them, starting off with that one-to-one interaction that we have with customers, that one-to-one delightful customer service that we try to provide. Then talk about the agent experience, and I think, again, Luca was spot on. I don't think it's about customers or employees. I think it's about humans, and it's about giving people the right experience, a good experience, whether they are a customer or an employee, or even just someone who's walking into your office to deliver a parcel. We want everyone that has an interaction with Moo to have a delightful experience. And then to talk more about, this is much more contact center focused, and then to touch a little bit more about how we take all of that valuable insight, curate it, and then deliver transformation and continuous improvement back into the contact center, but also back into the business. We're probably a step behind in that we are not, we don't have a large team that's developing product, and we don't have design thinking within our team. We don't have an experience design thing within the customer experience team. There's a separate team, but I'd like to think that our brand values do extend out in similar ways, and actually I feel like we're quite entrenched in the delivery of new design and product and experience that our customers have across that customer journey. So starting off with the delightful customer service piece, just, numbers can mean very little, but, we're really, really pleased with our NPS. We've got very high NPS, I think. We capture that post-delivery, so it's very much encompassing the entire journey that a customer goes on a transactional level. Actually much higher in the US. I think in the UK we're just generally much harder to please, and even lower on the continent. So, I'm sure there's lots of different European nations here today, and I think the expectations of customers are very different depending on where you are in the world. CSAT, we're really happy with our 95% customer satisfaction, and that's across all of the channels that we provide service to our customers. And then just internal evaluations and reviews that we do of our contacts at around 90% is our target. This is just a split across our core channels, and then these are our SLAs that we have for customers. And we don't display these externally. This is for us. It's a benchmark of how fast and how responsive we aim to be for our customers. And I think there's I could go into too much detail on all of these things, but I just wanted to pick out a few things that we think are extremely important. And the first one is that we want to make it extremely easy and simple for customers to get help. Wherever they are on their journey with Moo, whatever they're trying to do, we want to remove and strip out as many barriers as possible between them and us. So all of those pieces of technology that Luca was showing that can get in the way, we don't want to hide behind that veil. We want to be right there with our customers, where they can literally find us at the click of a button. So making it as easy as possible, always on, being a global business that's operating online. And I've put an asterisk because we're not always on. We try. It's not cost effective to be always on in every market, on every channel. But for live chat, 24 hours, 5 days a week, we want to be available easily and when customers need it, and in the language that they need it. The next, which I appreciate is probably not possible in all industries and in all organizational sizes, we don't want customers to have to go through an IVR. So if you call Moo, it will ring and a human being will pick up the phone. And again, we talked about 50 problems, and I'm referring a lot to Lucas because it helps, but the 50 problems and jobs to be done that customers might have, we like to think we've got quite a narrow product range. We want to make it so that all of our agents can deal with all of the problems that a customer might have. So as soon as you come through to an agent at Moo, they can solve your problem. and very seldom does it need to be passed on to someone else with a particular specialization or expertise. And actually, I heard recently, I think it was Virgin Media, had started trialing a concierge service or a triage service where rather than getting through to an IVR, when you phone them, someone picks up the phone and then they triage you. So it's kind of like having a receptionist, but it removes that horrible experience of the voice menu. So we don't have an IVR, we don't have complex contact forms, we're not pushing people through decision trees that are like 15 questions long, either digitally or on the phone. Keeping our wait times very short and being very quick to respond kind of goes without saying. And then intelligent self-service. So I mentioned that we used to have very static, basic FAQs. About 2 years ago, and one of the awards we won was for the launch of this new technology. We partnered with a US company called AnswerDash to implement a machine learning AI-powered self-service solution. So typically when someone's on a website and they're trying to do a job to get a certain result, if they run into trouble, they have to navigate away to an FAQ that might live somewhere else, and they'd have to search through all of your FAQs, or you might have listed the top 10 FAQs. But actually, everyone's needs are slightly different, and depending where you are in that journey online, you might have a very different question. So those top 10 questions might be relevant for 70% of your customers, but there'll be lots of people where those are irrelevant and they have to find a needle in a haystack. And also, people can get lost in your FAQs, they lose where they were on the rest of the site. So what we looked to do was to help people find relevant FAQ content or self-service content where they were in the journey, and to actually have some machine learning that learns from visitor behavior what it is that people want to know on those specific pages. So if you're on a page that's showing some of our custom designs, rather than having you navigate away somewhere else to search through FAQs, we'll have machine learning understanding what customers are asking or want to know on that page and bubbling those up to the top so that those customers on that page can see the FAQs that are relevant to them. And that's made a huge difference to our customer service costs, but also made it much easier for customers. And actually implementing that, which we thought was a cost-saving exercise, actually increased average order value by about 1.5%, and it also improved conversion on our website by about 1.5%. So about a 3% incremental revenue uplift. Generous policy, and I think we sell a physical product and we have quite large margins, which I'm sure in the telco industry isn't the same, which means we can be very generous. So whether it's an error that we made or even an error that a customer made, we can afford to make good for a customer. So if you even make a typo on your business cards, we can reprint it for free. And having that generous policy really helps to build trust and advocacy with our customers. And then finally, we'll go on to talk about the people in a second, but it's really about trying to make sure that the people that you're speaking to when you call us or chat with us are real people. We don't have scripts, we don't have rubric. It's not one size fits all. It's about celebrating the personality and the individuality of our agents and giving them the freedom to find the right solution in that specific interaction, rather than a very scripted, where you're sometimes finding a solution that might fit 70% of the interactions, but the other 30% are getting a bum deal. So next is on to the agent experience, and I think I'm finding myself increasingly being pulled in to speak with our HR and people team, and actually tomorrow morning I'm doing an experience design, employee experience journey map with them, taking some of the learnings that we've got from the customer experience team into the HR team. And I think it's quite, again, coming back to this human aspect, the phrase happy wife, happy life, I think is kind of the same as it is in customer experience and customer service, that if you have happy colleagues or happy employees, then they'll look after the customers as well. And, some of this is quite basic and probably below some of your pay grade, to be honest, but, hiring the right people is paramount. If you get the wrong people in the door, it can cause you a lot of pain down the road. We have a saying at Moo, which is we've used since day one, which is it's better to have a hole in your team than an a-hole. So you've got to work really hard to make sure that you get the hiring right, and hire slow and fire fast. Make sure you get the right people in the door. Once you've got them there, you've got to get them inducted. That sounds rather scary, but inducted in the right way and get that onboarding right. And I think, making sure that the brand values and the mission of the company is really well communicated to employees when they start is really important. Training doesn't stop and learning doesn't stop at Moo. We have a program called Moo U, where we have kind of this Moo University program where there's business-related stuff, but also just fun stuff like calligraphy classes or bookbinding, trying to make sure and encourage people in the organisation to continue to learn and develop. And that folds nicely on with career progression and career development, which really proud to say that I think we've got about, my team now is about 70 people, and outside of my team now I've got about 20 people that started in the customer service and customer experience team. And that's right in the e-commerce team, in the product team, in the desktop support team, all different parts of the organisation. And I think that's really, really important, and in a way helps us a lot because we've got allies, people that can help and people who are much easier to lobby to get things done in other departments. Using technology to reduce agent effort. It's not just about making it easier for customers, it's about making it easier for colleagues and employees. Removing barriers and making it as effortless as possible for your employees to get the job done is really important. I mentioned before making sure that our agents are cross-skilled in all channels. No one likes to be told, well, you can only do this thing over here, but these guys over here, they can do all this flashy stuff. We want to give everyone the opportunity to learn everything so that they're as adept as possible at helping customers. Empowering your frontline team, listening to their ideas and feedback. We do a lot of customer journey mapping sessions with them, as well as mapping out their experience and their journeys to help improve the experience that they have. And most of all, make it fun and keep them happy. It's easy to say that, it's much harder to do in practice. And in the world that I work in, and lots of companies nowadays the table stakes are moving. There was a book written about the effortless experience and how delighting customers is a means to an end because you're constantly increasing expectations. And I think the same is kind of happening in an employee landscape at the moment where, you go to some offices nowadays and, it's cereal on tap, beer in the fridge, those are table stakes now. So it's actually what are the other things that you can do to make sure that they are feeling at home with your company. So, these are the table stakes, I guess, but maybe not in some other organisations, but fed, watered and entertained, free fruit, cereal, toast, soft drinks, unfortunately, an endless supply of ice cream. Every Friday, the entire company comes together in all of our different offices for a free lunch, which, thankfully, not so many burgers and pizzas nowadays, but it's on the house, all of it. And then on top of that, it's Moo Wellness Week this week, so there's yoga in the office and I can't remember what the exact word is, we've got a dog that is there to reduce stress and actually has a certificate, this dog, where you can go and pet it and it will make you feel better. Some magical powers. Foosball, table tennis, pool, and I mentioned yoga already. Rewarding people, and I think this is not just in the contact centre, I think rewards and recognition are really, really important if you want to help people to embrace your values. And we've got different types of awards within the contact centre, some for shout outs on social media where you might get spot prizes or for getting a named mention on Trustpilot or in our NPS survey, recognising people who are productive but also awesome from a quality perspective, so really high CSAT. And from an agent perspective, I think last year someone in our team took home almost $1,000 in awards over the course of a year, which makes a big difference when you're earning £25,000, £23,000 a year. And actually something we're working on at the moment is a passport program. So once a quarter, you can nominate someone within your team and we'll do an office exchange. So someone in our team will get to go to the States and work in our office in the US for a week, and likewise coming to the UK. Celebrating success and hard work, and I just always point this out, but this guy's name is Saul. This is in our US office. We celebrate Customer Service Week every November or October, I think it is. Any questions?